Is the MCU's Phase 4 bad? Well, welcome back to another video, and Phase 4 has finally come to an end. It took me a while to get this video out. I thought it'd be out sooner, but, you know, things happen. I watch other things, because I guess on Wednesday and stuff like that, but...
Can't we just talk this out?
What? MCU Phase 4 has been considered to be the weakest phase of all of the MCU phases, and I think I would have to say I agree. I definitely do think that Phase 4 is the weakest of the MCU movies, or phases, I mean, but I also don't think it was absolutely terrible and nothing but trash. So, I think we should start with the movies. The movies, I feel, were a mix of okay and great. I didn't hate any of the movies, actually, but I did think there was a lot of wasted potential in some of these movies. Like, for example, I loved Shang-Chi, I loved No Way Home, I loved Wakanda Forever. I thought Black Widow, The Eternals, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder could have and should have been great, but they just weren't. They went in the wrong direction. Like, let's start with Black Widow. Like, I think that movie could have been so much better than it ended up being, because I think they could. Well, yes, it came way too late. I've said this before. It should have been the third film in a Black Widow trilogy. Taskmaster could have and should have been better. The villains could have been better. The third act could have been better. But I still end up enjoying it. I go more positive when it comes to Black Widow. Eternals, once again, I feel like could have been so awesome. It could have been this grand scale, interesting, entertaining, different movie for the MCU, and it ended up not being that. It was just like meh. It was too long. Too many characters. Multiverse of Madness. Once again, if they wanted to live up to the title, they could have had way more universes. If they wanted to keep the story and have a better title, they could call it Scarlet Witch: Horrors in the Multiverse. Also, this is like the only MCU movie I've actually came out of the theater not enjoying, and it wasn't until rewatch where I was like, oh, this movie isn't actually that bad. I wasn't a fan of what they did with Scarlet Witch's character, which I've talked about many times. Thor: Love and Thunder, once again, Gore should have been way better of a villain than I feel like he ended up being. He definitely had his moments. But like the fact that we literally only see him kill one god on screen is just unbelievably disappointing. Like, he's the God Butcher. We don't see him butcher any gods. So like, how do we know he's actually the God Butcher, huh? But yeah, I feel like that could have been better. But Spider-Man No Way Home, I thought was amazing. Even though, yes, I do kind of understand why people are calling it, it's just riding on nostalgia. A lot of the jokes and references, yes. But if you're someone who won't watch the MCU, even though I definitely think you wouldn't enjoy it as much as someone like myself did, I think you can still understand it. I don't think it would be confusing if you didn't watch the other ones. But I do think you won't be able to enjoy it as much. But I don't care. I love Spider-Man. I saw all of them. I love the movie. I thought Shang-Chi was just so much fun and so awesome. I loved all the characters in that movie. It was so great. And Wakanda Forever was just so emotional. Wakanda is a great setting. Namor was a great villain. I loved Shuri's character arc. And yeah. So I feel like there were like 3 awesome movies, and then the rest were okay movies that could have been better. But there are also, for the first time ever, they brought in TV shows, because now they have the streaming service Disney Plus, and now we have a bunch of TV shows. The shows I thought were mostly okay. Again, I didn't hate any of them, but really only WandaVision and Hawkeye were the shows that I loved. Like Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, all had potential, but they kind of went in the wrong direction. They felt like a lot of them felt like they could have been movies, and She-Hulk was just meh. And What If honestly felt like it doesn't feel canon, like, at all, and it was also hit or miss depending on the episode. Now, like I said, WandaVision was I love that show. I wanted to come back every week. It was such an intriguing mystery. It had a great character arc for Wanda, and it made me love Vision way more. Hawkeye, even though it definitely has some flaws, it's rushed. Kingpin was not done very well. I still really loved it because, one, it has that Christmas atmosphere that I love. It's got Hawkeye, who I love. It's got Kate Bishop, who I love. It's got Lucky the Pizza Dog, who I love. So to me, it was just a whole lot of fun, and I really liked that show. But then, like, Falcon Winter Soldier, had so much potential. It could have been one of the best shows on Disney Plus, and it ended up being okay and not as intriguing as I feel like it could have been. Loki, I know a lot of people love this show, and I'm not gonna lie, I do like it. I love the time travel stuff. I loved Mobius. He was fun. Sylvie was a great character. I just feel like there could have been, I don't know, a bit less filler, and the exposition could have been done a bit better. Moon Knight, once again, just felt way too rushed. Miss Marvel, again, had a rushed storyline, and I feel like almost all of those could have been a movie. The only one that I felt like couldn't have been a movie is She-Hulk, and even then, She-Hulk was just meh. It was just like, I'm not excited for the next episode. That's how She-Hulk was. But, yeah. And then when it comes to specials, because we also got some specials this time around, I actually loved the specials, and they were the only things that didn't feel like they should have been movies that I really enjoyed. I feel like these were really great. I really enjoyed them. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special was a whole lot of fun, and it made me care about the characters. Well, I already cared about the characters, but it made me like them even more, like Mantis. It even brought a tear to my eye. Werewolf by Night was just a whole heck lot of fun, and it was so great. It's just awesome. Now, I have to say, when it comes to Phase 4, really anything past Avengers Endgame, I always ask, should we have stopped at Endgame? Because Endgame really felt like the ending of the cinematic universe, but we're still going. So every time we get a new thing, I'm like, did we need this? Like, we already had that amazing Endgame. We already had that amazing ending with Endgame. Do we really need to continue this story that always feels like it's wrapped up perfectly? And I honestly don't know what the answer would be, because, like I said, I love WandaVision, love Hawkeye, love No Way Home, love Wakanda Forever, love Shang-Chi, and all the specials. And the others were okay. Now, quantity over quality is what everybody's been using to describe this phase. And it kind of is true. We've had 7 movies, 8 specials, 8 shows, 2 specials, and even 1 short series, if you count that. So that's around 17 or 18 projects in the course of 2 years, 2021 to 2022. And yeah, I think they probably do need to slow down and make less TV shows. Like, make more specials, focus on your movies more, and then whenever you have an idea for a TV show storyline, make a TV show. Like, there's so many TV shows that could have been movies, and maybe should have been movies, so I think they could have done that. But Phase 4 isn't completely terrible. I thought there was some great stuff in it. I mean, Phase 4 gave us, like, Black Widow, I thought had an amazing opening. I don't know why, I just love that opening so much. I thought it was great. Spider-Man No Way Home, the whole movie I love. Like, one of my favorite scenes was when, spoiler alert, Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, saves MJ. That, not gonna lie, that really brought a tear to my eye. The ending was also unbelievably awesome and heart-wrenching. The Wakanda Forever had an amazing ending that just brought tears to my eyes. I thought was just so great. WandaVision had a lot of great, funny moments, but also has, like, the incredible line of, what is grief if not love persevering? And even Walker killing that flag smasher was a pretty cool, brutal, but cool scene in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But, however, there is a lot of stuff that's just like meh in the MCU. Like, for example, everyone noticed this bad CGI. The CGI in Phases 1 through 3 felt really good, except for some spots in certain movies that you could be like, that's CGI. That's obviously CGI. I felt like most of it was pretty good until we got to Phase 4. That's when you start being like, oof, that really looks, okay. But, I mean, that's because of the behind-the-scenes drama with the VFX artists not having enough time, probably because of how much stuff they gotta do. There's so much projects now. But, yeah, Scarlet Witch's character arc was way too rushed in my personal opinion. And we also got She-Hulk, which was, you know, it was She-Hulk, attorney at law. And I also feel like Phase 4 kind of had pacing issues, too. Because the shows, like everyone's been saying, it has filler episodes and then it rushes the ending. But I feel like the movies also had some pacing issues too, because like Eternals and even Wakanda Forever to me felt too long, and Multiverse of Madness and Love and Thunder felt too short. Love and Thunder, like, they completely rushed the beginning with Gore's story to me personally. The Multiverse of Madness, once again, they rushed it so much that we got a lazy exposition machine that's like memory lane or whatever they called it, where it flashed their memories on a screen. And then Eternals and Wakanda Forever just way too long. Even Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home wasn't too bad, honestly. I don't mind the pacing of that one. It is a bit long, but I don't mind the pacing of that one as much. But yeah, and then yeah, so I feel like there's definitely some problems with it, but I don't think it's necessarily terrible. But yeah, so that's pretty much my thoughts on Phase 4. It was okay phase. It's definitely my least favorite phases. Like, if I were to rank the phases, in last place would be Phase 4, third place would be Phase 1, second place would be Phase 2, first place would be Phase 3. There's some good in this phase, and then there were some bad or meh. Like, whenever I think of Phase 4, the greatness of Phase 4, that's what I think of. WandaVision, Hawkeye, Spider-Man No Way Home, Shang-Chi, Wakanda Forever, and the specials. And then all the other stuff is kind of like an afterthought, because, oh yeah, that was also part of Phase 4, wasn't it? But yeah, so I made 2 separate videos ranking the movies and shows separately. I thought maybe I'd quickly give a ranking of everything put together. And I feel like I wanted to mention Spider-Man No Far From Home. I personally consider it Phase 4. Like, whenever I do an Infinity Saga marathon, I watch Iron Man Endgame. Whenever I do a Phase 4 marathon, I start with Spider-Man Far From Home. I know it's technically the ending of Phase 3, and I'm planning on making a video of why I consider it to be Phase 4. But yeah, I don't think I include it in this ranking because of the fact that it technically isn't. But yeah, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on why they're in these placements, because I already made 2 separate videos. So if you want to check those out, please do that. It'd be very helpful for me. But yeah, last place would be She-Hulk Attorney at Law. 17 would be What If. 16 would be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. 15 would be Eternals. 14 would be I Am Groot. 13 would be Thor: Love and Thunder. 12 would be The Falcon and Winter Soldier. 11 would be Loki. The top 10 would start with Moon Knight. Then number 9 would be Black Widow. 8 would be Miss Marvel. 7 would be Werewolf by Night. 6 would be Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Starting the top 5 would be Hawkeye. 4 would be Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings. The top 3 would start with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Number 2 would be WandaVision. And number 1 would be Spider-Man No Way Home. At least for me personally. That's what I personally enjoy. Also, a lot of people are saying that there's no focus. I kind of do agree with that. It feels like we're setting up so much. We're setting up the multiverse with Secret Wars coming. We're setting up the Thunderbolts, which is not coming until the next phase. We're kind of setting up the Young Avengers, even though we don't even know if we're going to actually get anything Young Avengers. We're setting up the Midnight Suns just a little bit with that little tease in Eternals, even though it didn't go anywhere yet, and we have no idea if it will go anywhere besides maybe Blade. It feels like we're going everywhere, and I feel like, honestly, like, in the Infinity Saga, Phase 1, everything built up to the Avengers, and even the Avengers was just a first step into getting us to Infinity War and Endgame. Phase 2, I feel like doesn't necessarily have a clear goal for the end of that particular phase, because nothing built up to Age of Ultron, and nothing built up to Ant-Man. But those individual movies built up to Infinity War and Endgame, because each movie brought in something important. Like, almost every movie had an Infinity Stone. The only one that didn't have an Infinity Stone was Ant-Man. But what we didn't know is that it was introducing us to the Quantum Realm, which would end up being a big deal in Phase 3. And then obviously Phase 3 built up to Infinity War and Endgame being our finales to the saga. And nothing really built up to anything in this phase, at least not yet. Like I said, Kevin Feige said it will become clear soon. We know that the end of the saga will be Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. We know that Kang's coming in Quantumania. And who knows, maybe a lot of these projects will be a lot like the first Ant-Man film, where right now it doesn't seem like it's setting out anything up, and then by the time we get to Secret Wars, something big will be set up, just like with the first Ant-Man. At the time, it felt like it wasn't really building up anything, but by the time we got to Endgame, oh shoot, it set up the Quantum Realm. But yeah, but what do you guys think about this phase? Did you actually like this phase? Like, maybe you thought it was one of the better phases. I know some people like this phase more than like Phase 1. Some maybe even more than Phase 2. Or did you think this phase was terrible? This is the absolute worst thing ever. You might even stop watching the MCU after this. Or are you along the same lines as me, where I'm like, it's okay. There's some good. There's some not so good. It's okay. I'd love to know what you think. So yeah, thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button to help me out so much. If you want to see more videos like this, I've reviewed every single movie in Phase 4. I've reviewed some of the shows, and I believe the holiday special. And then, like I said, I have a more in-depth ranking where I actually talk more about what I think about the individual projects. So thanks so much for taking time to watch. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.